What's up everybody, Jeff here for Bond Life, and welcome to the Ultimate Jean Hems Guide. And today we're going to talk about that lower section of your jeans and the different options that I know of that you can set everything up, and my opinions of what ones suit certain body type or certain jean styles, so you can make your own decision of what suits you the best. I don't think there's really a right or wrong for this particular thing. I do think though there are more flattering points for different people, and I want to just kind of help you make your own decision with a little bit more information so you can look your best. So a little bit of the backstory to my jeans is when I was growing up, say till I was like 13 or 14, I was always one that wore slacks. I'm not really sure exactly why pants were my particular thing. Maybe I thought they were classier or cooler or more adult looking. I'm not really sure. But I do remember when I was kind of starting landscaping or something, maybe around 14 to 16, I started needing something more durable, like khakis just weren't cutting it. And, I started skateboarding, and skateboarding needed I was kind of ripping khakis and things like that. So I started needing these more functional clothing, and then I just started wearing jeans, and then I realized they're far more comfortable once they start getting broken in, once they start forming to your body. And then I had my whole opinions of like, what do girls like? And I always thought that women liked a nice dressed man, as they say, and that was what I perceived to be well put together, clean looking lines and slacks and things like that. So I kind of always shelved the jeans when I wasn't using them. But they were super comfortable, and then I eventually found myself just weeding out the slacks because I just thought they were stupid. Like, it didn't make any sense to wear delicate things around something that I wipe my hands on, I crawl around, like, say on like my knees, I fall on them, or I sit down. Like, pants just didn't make any sense. Like, they just always ripped or got really dirty, like at least visually. And, I just ended up loving jeans. So now to this day, I'm a jeans and t-shirt guy. I have been for over a decade. The only time I really wear pants or like khakis or something is just if I really want a lighter material, or I have to go to an event where I have to tuck in my shirt. But more or less, like, this is it. Kind of like, I just go with what's comfortable and what makes sense. I try to wear collars if I can, because I do think it adds nice structure to your neck and shoulders. But jeans, I just love them. That's my favorite thing for the bottom half of my body. So that's my little backstory. So a little history on jeans without getting into it too much is they were invented by Jacob Davis and Levi Strauss in 1873. So they've been around for a while, and they've evolved quite a bit, and the styling and everything has too. So we want to consider that. And, I'm a person who, if it's always been done a certain way, like, that doesn't mean it's always the best way. So I like to see things evolve and accept the fact that change can be the new correct way of doing things. So this is something that has been evolving over time. So you want to consider that there is no right way of wearing your jeans. There's just your current preference to the culture that you live in at the moment. So they were designed to be more sturdy pant by placing copper rivets into places where pants rip the most, such as like the fly and pockets and stuff like that. So they are, as a matter of fact, designed to be more durable. And that's important because they are, in a sense, they're more casual because they are built. So it says they were built and sold to farmers and miners and cattlemen in the North American West. That's it for the history, but this is a good starting point to understand what's going on with their absolute function, where they were designed, and what's going on, so you can actually kind of understand it from a ground up point of view. Hem style options and my opinions about them. So this whole subject of hemming and the bottom part of your jeans is hugely a matter of taste. I mean, fashion is a matter of taste, but there are definitely some things that people widely agree on. And of course, fit is the most popular. That is a major consideration in everything that I talk about. But jeans are weird, you know, like some fits are cool sometimes and then sometimes they're not. Some, you could define flattery, which I might have to make a whole nother video on, but there's that. But I personally like to look at things as a design opinion and what makes logical sense and like more, maybe more mathematical standpoint. Maybe because I'm completely neurotic or something, but it makes sense, and I can break it down for you and show you everything. So I'm trying to do that in a very dumbed down fashion to go through these. So the first style that I'm going to cover is stack jeans, and stack jeans are something that's kind of evolved since, say, the fashion of a slimmer, skinnier jean, made famous by many celebrities, most notably Kanye West. But this is like when that silhouette has that really rugged, ruffled edge. And this works in a lot of ways. I love it. I still kind of like wear this style, but it doesn't always work for everybody, and it doesn't suit all situations. So reasons, the first one that it may not work is if you are shorter. Now, I am a shorter man and I can make it work because I've kind of been playing with it for a while and I know the right exact kind of jeans, and it definitely is a skinny jean, but it's trickier. I wouldn't go too much stacking because that looks really sloppy, especially on someone of my height. So it's got to be a very small amount of stacking. And then second reason it may not work is because of softer denim. A more rigid, heavier weight denim seems to do a little bit better job of stacking because it holds itself in place. As soon as that stacking kind of drips down, kind of like as if you pushed like the paper down at the end of a straw, like it's like straight and then it's all bunched up. That's not good, but that tends to happen with a softer weight denim. And then the third reason I think stacked denim won't work for a lot of people is with dress shoes. And I just think the style looks really weird. You have this super clean, sharp dress shoe, and then this very casual and like rugged, like ruffled edge. I just don't think it looks too good, but I mean, people can find the right shoe that might just work perfectly with the right amount of stacking. It's possible, but it's harder. Now, with making stacking work for someone like me, I like to have that nice medium weight denim, and I like to make sure that the stacking goes all the way up the leg past the knee. That's the rule, is if you're only stacking your jeans below the knee and it isn't ruffled up on the top, then you're doing it incorrectly, or I think it just looks a little sloppy. Again, I just picture like just that something just droopy, like gross. Ugh. So the second style that I want to cover is a cuffed or rolled up jean, and that's when the jeans are literally just folded up on the outside and then again maybe cuffed to give it that nice solid base around the outside. And it's a really good look. It kind of, if you have a selvage jean, you get that nice stitching. All of these things are really great about it. It adds a nice flare and an anchor to the bottom. Everything is great for some people. And I think there are certain situations where it really hurts your style. And I think from firsthand experience, I think if you're a shorter man in skinny to average build, including athletic, I think that it just really hurts your overall appearance and gives you more stocky look, which generally, if you're already short, it is less complimentary or flattering to you. And the reason that I say that is because most of the time jeans have a lighter color wash on the inside of the denim. So you get this lighter cloth. So it's like, say it's a dark jean and then you have the lighter cloth. Now this gives this visual break that gives you the illusion of a shorter leg. So if you have a dark blue jean and then you follow that down to that cuff, then you have like a light blue to whitish gray jean, and that gives your total length of what is noticed from far away if you blurred your eyes much shorter. So in a design sense, it's going to give this optical illusion of a shorter leg. So I'm not really sure why a lot of shorter men do that. Now, let's say you have a black jeans and it's black on the inside, fine. Except for, that brings me to the second reason. With cuffing jeans and folding jeans, it adds bulk respectively to your body. So what do I mean by that is it kind of gives it more. So here's the thing is, since the weave of a denim is pretty bulky as it is, when you fold it up, the actual thickness is like, I mean, it's considerable. It's not just like a slacks folded back, which is just still flowy. You have it folded back, and now there's this much stronger structure at the bottom of your jeans. So this can be really good for someone who's taller, but again, let's say you are shorter, you look at that, and now your break that happened over by your shoe is now set up higher because this is so rigid down here. Again, if you're like 5'10" or something, it shouldn't matter too much, but it will definitely rise where that break happens in the jeans. Now again, let's say you are 5'10" and you're in, or whatever, and your inseam is say 33. I don't know exactly what it might be. And you fold it over, say it's over 2 inches. You have a cuff about 2 inches at a 33 inseam. That is about 6.5 to 7% length is that cuff, okay? Now, let's say your inseam is 28. My perfect jean length is 28. Now, if I did 6 to 7% of that, that'd be like 1.5 inches, right? So my 1.5 to 2 inches is negligible. It shouldn't matter in the height. And that's fine, right? Right? Wrong. But what's actually going on is the denim structure, the weave, the heaviness hasn't changed because of the height. It's still thick. So that thickness kind of folds down into itself. Kind of like folding a piece of paper. It gets harder and harder, it gets heavier, and the folds become weirder the tighter they are on themselves. That's kind of what's happening. So what would be like a nice skinny fold on a tall person, once you shrink it down, it kind of builds up on itself and now becomes wide and short, which becomes this new kind of cuff that doesn't really look too great, and it actually gives like this really like ring around your ankle, I think. I mean, it's subtle, but I notice it. I can always see it, like just super structured bottom ring, and it's really wide, and it just doesn't hold the shoe the same as say somebody who's 5'8", 5'10", and above or whatever. I just think that that's really weird look. So just have that really strong thing. Okay, so something I forgot was a couple solutions to this that makes me say, if you really like the cuff and you are facing these limitations, a couple things that I think make sense is if your footwear is closer to the tone, your shading of the inside of the cuff. So if it's a little bit lighter boot or shoe, I think makes a little bit more sense. It seems to complement the flow of the contrast there. And then if you are shorter like me, I think a smaller cuff, a single cuff, will look better than a longer, more normal cuff. Again, you kind of have to just look at it and feel it out, but consider that there is a possible way around things a lot of times if you are just really loving it. But all means, like if you like it, then you do it. But this is just to help to kind of open your eyes a little bit to look at it a little different. I remember that this one's a little funny to me because I grew up in the 80s and I remember pegging my jeans. A little bit about that in a second, but pegging of jeans was primarily like a girl's thing. Like I was made fun of, is what I was gonna say, when I did it, because it was super feminine. And if you look at it, it is like a very feminine touch to everything. Like it's kind of girly, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just a little bit more defining. And another thing that women were doing at the time were rolling down their socks, literally rolling up down like a tube sock, so you get this like round thing. There was the fluffy ankle socks they were doing, which I think have come back in style. And oh, and like kind of like leg warmers type of thing. There's some weird obsession with girls when I was growing up in the 80s. I don't really know. But I remember trying it and I was like, oh, this is so cool. And it wasn't. I got made fun of. And like, whatever derogatory terms people thought I was or something, that's what happened. And that's the origin. Now, I understand that things change, and pegging jeans is something that has kind of come back, especially for men, because now a slimmer jean kind of is more accepted, and it could work for that. I do understand how it could work because now the rest of the jeans is slimmer. But my advice on this one is make sure your jeans are slimmer, and don't ever try to peg something that has a wider ankle, such as like a boot cut or anything, even a straight jean. I'd probably stick to skinny or slim, and I think you could do it right with a right shoe. It could look really cool. Again, I would try to play this one up with just a hint of masculine touch, a little bit more somewhere. Maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's your shirt's just a little bit more rugged, or jacket or something. I don't know. Some little touch of masculinity, just kind of to bring that back to you. Now, I have this other thing that I do. It's kind of, I'm just going to name it like the Bond roll. I don't know anybody else I've seen that's done it, and I don't know if it has a name, but it's when you fold it as if it's hemmed. It's more of a temporary thing, but I've done it for the whole lifetime of wearing a certain kind of jeans. I think it works. It's usually kind of a form of I'm too lazy or cheap to get this actually hemmed, or I just don't know the right kind of tailor. So this works, and I think it's a sharp look, and it also keeps you from having to deal with doing all this, like getting the right kind of jeans and all this stuff. So it's a really nice hack to jeans that you already have that you think are too long. So the first thing you do this is when you grab the excess jeans, and then you make the distance between the top of your factory hem to the fold of your excess denim the same. So the next step is that you fold that down, and then the fold of the excess denim touches the very top of the factory hem, so that you can still see the factory hem, and you've gotten this little break there. So I recommend going to pinch about a full break. I think would be a safe bet because it kind of hides it a little bit more around the shoe, because at the ankle it can kind of get a little too rigid. But if you do a full break versus a half break, it kind of hides it, and I think it looks really good, especially with like a slim jean or skinny jean. I think it just really hides it nice. I like this look. It gives it a little bit more of a classier look to your jeans. So if you like having the jeans that you can stack sometimes, and then you did this to kind of clean it up with like a dress shoe, I think you could do that. That's what I do. Okay, so another style is the sewn hem. I think it's ideal. I think it's perfect. It looks good with sneakers, shoes, boots, everything. It makes you look a little bit more like James Bond. Everything is perfect about this, except for it's tricky to get it right. Now, your tailor can be experienced, and they can do that, and they can keep your factory hem, or you can get some selvage denim, get them hemmed, so then if you ever did wash or have them wear, it looks more like a factory hem. It's that look on the bottom that really separates like a denim cuff. Like that little hem is super important. When you just fold back a thing and hem it with a nice like jeans heavyweight stitching, you can kind of always tell. There's that wash and that weight that happens from the factory that is very hard to do afterwards. So I think this one's just a little trickier. That's the only thing, but it looks perfect. I mean, a perfectly fitting pair of jeans is great. I mean, I only have like 2. Now we have the cutoff jeans, and this is literally just scissors cut off. And this is interesting because I didn't think this was gonna come back. I used to do this with my big baggy pants when I was skateboarding, and it was really cool because it was super defining for us skateboarders. And if you did wear pants like this and or skate shoes, you were a poser. Anything skate, like that was ours. Like that's all we had. We were just a bunch of rebellious kids and anybody who tried to rip us off without skating and wear our style, you were a poser. Now I'm starting to see the skaters bringing this back. It's been women for the past, like, say, decade who had cut off ankles, like right there, because it like looks cute and stuff. But for men, it was kind of like that phased out of style, and I think it's kind of coming back. I would predict that really baggy cut off jeans will come back within a year and a half fully. You'll probably see it by the end of this year. Yeah, primarily in back to the skateboarders, because I think that skateboarding style has been too lumped in with everything else. I think they're going to want to take something back that's back to their original roots. So that's just my prediction. I could be totally wrong, but I do think it's a style that I've seen here and there, and it's usually with skaters. So. Oh, and then one last one is the one pant leg rolled up, and I think that this is interesting again. I used to see this in the 90s, and whatever, I don't know. It was silly, but I got it. Like, it grabs a lot of attention. Like, there's no doubt about that. There's a certain weird, like, why would you, if you're asking me about my clothing, you're stupid kind of attitude with it. Like, if somebody ever asks them, like, why are you wearing one pant leg up? You have an attitude, be like, don't ask me, like, you know what I mean? And I remember that, and I think that it's really kind of reserved for a little more hip hop style, and or if you're riding a bike that doesn't have a chain on it, then it's a super functional thing. I'm not saying don't do it. It could totally work. I see it here and there in New York. It's really weird, but it might be coming back too. I don't know. It's the 90s thing. You know, everybody loves 90s now, so. Okay, so what's the takeaway on all of these? And I would have to say that it comes down to one rule, and that's make sure that it always follows the same rule from bottom to top. So for example, if you are doing stacking of the jeans, make sure that it's stacking all the way up, say especially past the knee, so that that outside silhouette doesn't go, it goes all the way up. It's got to make that sound. But yeah, it has to follow that rule all the way top. So another extreme example that's opposite of that is a cut off jeans. If it's cut off and it's super straight and clean like that, make sure that it's super straight and clean. If you do go around shopping, I know Nudie Jeans has like a carrot style jean, and that's again it's short, straight, and it's very solid at the bottom. I think you can find some skate jeans that have the cutoff actually from the manufacturer like that. That's an extreme now. Let's say you have just a standard regular old jean. Well, the impact's also going to be kind of standard and regular, and it's just going to be a typical, nice, perfect fitting thing, so that the bottom is perfectly fitting, kind of like, just a perfect suit bottom. You have a half break to full break. It's perfect around the shoe, perfect on the ankle. Keep going. Don't make it like a, perfectly hemmed, tight, super skinny jean. It might look a little bit more like a capri, which, you can rule that style if you want. But this is more to kind of give you a guideline. Again, these are not rules. These are just kind of ways to look at it and understand design principles. And, you can talk about contrast, but that would be a whole nother video. For now, let's talk about like a unison of your style. And I think that will really get you to a place where you really feel in control of the preference that you have. And one more thing is, like, let's say you are really tall, having a full break that's like very tall, kind of like the Japanese style that's really popular, that might work really well for you. And if you are really skinny too, that could also possibly work for you too, because then you have that balance of the length and it being skinny. Hard to explain right now, but you have to look at it with kind of a little more critical eye than just being like, oh, this is cool. This is what I seen some model wear and it looked good on him, so it'll look good on me. And that's not the case, especially with the bottom of your jeans. really be very particular to your body type and just kind of ignore your influence and really pay attention to yourself. I mean, this goes for a lot of style, but I think in particular jeans. I mean, I can see a suit on somebody and be like, oh, that looks great, and then kind of wear the same thing and be fine. But I really think that there's something different about jeans because I think it's the weight of the fabric. Honestly, I think it comes down to the weight of the fabric and the fact that the inside is like different tones, and I don't really know. But this is I hope this helps. Yeah, that's it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do that. If you're already a subscriber, big thank you to you for sticking with me, and until next time, peace.